Hey Pillow Fort fam, and welcome to another review. This one is all about One Military Camp, a recent base building management game all about running your own training camp. We want to give a special thanks to Abylight for providing us a review copy of the game. We truly enjoyed our experience with this one and are excited to share it with you. With that out of the way, let's get started. Whenever we pick up a build or a management game, we never really expect there to be an incredible amount of story. We don't particularly play this genre to get a deep dive into what we're building a military base for, other than there are people that need our help and we're going to passively manage our income and resources, expand our territories, and complete whatever missions are presented to us. While some developers decide to go above and beyond, I feel like this genre, along with a few others, are just automatically allowed to invest less time into story aspects if they deliver a solid gameplay experience. For the most part, we agree with this notion. Trading heavy story aspects in exchange for awesome gameplay is a worthy sacrifice in most cases in this genre. But One Military Camp didn't make the sacrifice, and it honestly made the game that much better. The story goes, without spoiling anything past your initial fluff upon entry to the game, that you're the last military camp in a land that's been almost entirely conquered by an evil dictator. You start out with next to no resources and a medium-sized chunk of change that you'll need to manage successfully to build up your camp, hire and train recruits, and carry out missions in order to reconquer the lands and help the citizens. It's told through your typical text-based dialogue interactions with the different in-game characters, and honestly, it was far more enjoyable and humorous than we thought it was going to be. We also speculated that by halfway through the game, we'd only get the occasional piece of story and would be left to our own devices the way most strategy builders do, giving you just enough story to make the gameplay still feel immersive. But One Military Camp opted in for humorous dialogue well into Hour 8. We actually found ourselves getting invested enough into the story that we wanted to get to the next set of missions in order to free the next village or character that we were asked to save. So, props for the story carrying enough weight to feel a sense of urgency in the gameplay. With that perfect segue, let's talk about this little rundown camp and how we get to rebuild it. I want to right away compliment this game and its tutorial system because they did a fantastic job of holding my hand enough to teach me the ropes and then leaving me to tinker with my camp and get a better understanding of the game. They also opted for staggering the tutorials and in-camp events enough that I felt like I wasn't going to have to learn everything all at once, and by the time the next big thing would pop up, I was confident enough in managing the other stuff that I was not overwhelmed. Sometimes in these games they go for a here's everything you need to know, good luck approach. And for someone such as myself who can absolutely figure it out but will have a panic attack for the first 5 minutes, it's greatly appreciated. Touching more on the nitty-gritty details, the basic idea is that you start with your most simple Tier 1 soldiers with specializations such as infantry, artillery, communications, and bomb specialists, then upgrade your camp enough to train the Tier 5 super soldier spec, which will enable you to carry out the harder endgame missions. Aside from training your troops, you'll need to ensure that they have a comfy bed to sleep in, mess hall to eat in, entertainment to boost morale, medical offices for when they get injured or have other health-related issues, and of course your regular maintenance crew to ensure everything stays in tip-top working shape. As you progress later into the game, you'll need to invest some resources into base defenses as well to thwart infiltration and bombing attacks from the enemy. We just have to say, the entire experience of One Military Camp feels balanced and enjoyable. The gameplay can get more hectic at times, but usually it's just a matter of properly balancing your income to expenditures and hiring a steady flow of employees and recruits to keep from feeling a lull in campaign progression. With the main features covered, we do want to highlight some of the smaller aspects of the gameplay, as they're truly what made the game feel well-rounded. These include the fact that when you conquer a new territory, it unlocks different things. From food, ammo, and medical supplies, to banks that will provide you with loans if you get in a rut, and even special training grounds where you can buy soldiers already outfitted with the specialization. This feature in particular I enjoyed the most, as late game I found myself losing a soldier or two per mission, and being able to purchase a fully trained and ready soldier rather than waiting the time it takes to train them was incredibly nice. They come in random sets as well, so it's not like it replaces the need to recruit and train your own soldiers, as there's no guarantee they'll have the type of soldier you're going to need for your next missions. But it acts as a great fill for the ones you're losing in battle and to fill any gaps you might have at your base. The other thing these purchased soldiers are fantastic for are the Any Soldiers missions. There are a few missions where you can send any type of soldier so long as they meet a basic power requirement. However, once you send those soldiers, they're permanently reassigned to that territory and not available for you anymore. I oftentimes found myself buying 3 random soldiers from the training facilities and using them for these missions, as they're the only missions where soldier specializations do not matter. Other perks to taking territories back include towns that you can tax and increase your daily income, and even additional military camps for when your home gets just a bit too full. There are a few other perks to using the military bases you unlock, but from our current experience, we're having no trouble progressing the campaign with our original one and are still far from max capacity. The other thing that staves off needing to open up a second camp is the fact that you can upgrade your facilities back at home to do everything from increase max employee capacity, storage capacity, and even help automate a lot of the processes. I sort of decided that until my first camp is mostly automated and nearly maxed out, there wasn't a real need to open up the second or third ones. If you're interested in what they offer, different soldiers train better and receive different perks for being in different biomes of the military camps. So there are definitely benefits. But I tend to get hard stuck in my one spot and want to max it out before moving on. Nonetheless, if you're interested, I'll include the second and third camps in our playthrough video, so go check that out to get a sneak peek. By now you're probably thinking, well, that's cool, a decently long gameplay section with enough features to keep you entertained. And that's not all, folks. Humor aside, the campaign is just one option. The sandbox mode allows you to take on not 1, but 10 different maps in a variety of camp biomes, difficulties, and adversaries to face. So once you beat the regular campaign, you'll have plenty of hours left in beating the other maps. And once you're bored of that, you can try out battle mode. We admittedly have not touched battle mode as we're too invested in beating the campaign, as we tend to do in management games since we enjoy unlocking shiny achievements and perks that usually carry into sandbox modes. The idea behind battle mode, though, is that your enemies will seek to take you on in a more head-to-head fashion, and you'll need to play more strategically to win. To complement the gameplay, you'll have a soundtrack that is now thoroughly stuck in my head to enjoy. It fits the game perfectly with its militaristic theme that not only stayed on, but playing the game without it feels wrong. That being said, the standalone sounds and ambience mirror a military camp with the groans of tired soldiers and grunts of ones in training. The visuals are perfect for the style of game, offering colorful landscapes and buildings that you can upgrade and get exponentially prettier as you do. They do also offer decorative items that allow you to beautify your camp, just to make it feel a bit cozier. I'm extremely pleased to say that this section is incredibly short. I want to highlight one bug I experienced early on with one of the starting missions. It seemingly got stuck at 75%, and I reloaded my game with great confusion, hoping it would fix the issue. It didn't, and I admittedly began to panic. However, there was another mission unlocked, so I trained the necessary soldiers, built a second helipad, and completed that one. To my great surprise, after doing so, the original one unlocked itself, gave me its special mission choice, and completed as a success. I haven't experienced so much as a frame drop or bug since then, so I'm happy to report that the game should be mostly bug-free. As far as anything boring goes, I suppose if you're not a fan of the management and builder genre, sure, you could avoid this title. But if you're like me and enjoy more passive style games that require slight management, but offer a mostly peaceful experience that you can pause to collect your thoughts on your next strategic step, then One Military Camp offers dozens of hours of gameplay and, in our opinion, has yet to get boring even after 8 hours. In fact, we were planning on putting in 5 to 6 hours prior to reviewing it just to get a good look at all the aspects in the campaign, and ended at 8. And we'll likely complete the campaign and upload a full playthrough because, yes, that's how much we're enjoying it. Is it worth it, though? Currently, One Military Camp is listed at $25, and you need to consider the fact that between campaign, sandbox, and the different game modes, you're getting potentially hundreds of hours of content depending on how much you enjoy this genre. If you're like me, who spends far too much time invested into their creative freedom and building up your game a dozen different ways, then yes, this game is absolutely worth the full price, especially because the developer has already stated that more content and a big patch is on the way. We know that not everyone has the biggest budget, so maybe wait for it to go on sale if that's the case for you. But it's our genuine opinion that this game is indeed worth it. All in all, One Military Camp is a solid game, offering tons of gameplay variety, great audio, and a comedic story that carries it all the way through to the end of the campaign, with enough enjoyment that has me wanting to try out the other maps in sandbox mode as well. If you're into more tactile battle style games, the battle mode will offer that experience too. We've enjoyed it enough to complete the campaign, and we only choose to do that for games we really enjoy. This one has earned the official Pillow Fort stamp of approval for any fans of the builder and management genre, especially if you enjoy militaristic themes. We do want to premise that there is no visual violence in this game, aside from some planes coming and rendering your buildings in great need of repair. And yes, you'll lose some military troops on missions, but there's no actual death scenes, gore, or violence in this game. So if you're wanting something far more funny and cozy, this is the one. That's going to be it for this review, but thank you as always for watching, and if you enjoyed, don't forget to leave a like and hit that subscribe button. Tell us your thoughts on One Military Camp in the comments, and feel free to ask any questions. We're more than happy to answer. Until next time.